big men of the game, the ruckman. We have 4 nominations with 3 to be selected, and they are from Carlton, John Nichols; from Footscray and North Melbourne, Gary Dempsey; from Geelong, Graham Polly Farmer; and from Richmond, Roy Wright.
In a career that spanned a record 331 games, John Nichols accumulated every honour in football with the exception of the Brownlow Medal, and he came close to that one too. Big Nick was runner-up to Ian Stewart in 1966. As the club's champion ruckman and later as coach, Big Nick was Carlton for nearly 19 years. He won the club's best and fairest a record 5 times, played more games than anyone in history, and had captained with honour. As well, he played a record 31 times for Victoria, being state captain and coach. The long, muscular arms of Gary Dempsey probably pulled in more marks over the last decade than any others in league football. Dempsey served a 1-year apprenticeship to John Schultz at the Western Oval before taking the role of #1 ruckman for the struggling Bulldogs. For nearly a decade, Dempsey was Footscray. He controlled ruck duels against the best in the league and relished a spell on the back line where his marking invariably halted many attacks. Club captain for 4 years, Dempsey was Footscray's champion player 6 times, and in 1975, after near misses, won the Brownlow Medal. Polly Farmer was the complete ruckman even before he embarked on his VFL career as a 27-year-old in 1962. He'd won 2 Sandover medals, beat East Perth's champion 7 times in 8 years, played 31 times for his state, won the Tassie medal, and had knocked back a rash of offers from Victorian clubs. Farmer was to add to that record with the Cats. He was the key to Geelong's 1963 premiership win, and in 101 VFL games developed handball into an art and ruck play into a science. From humble beginnings in Sister Kate's orphanage in Perth, Graham Farmer MBE rose in stature over 392 games to be the greatest ruckman the game has seen. Because of childhood illnesses, Roy Wright didn't start his football career until the age of 16, but immediately made his mark. He played second string to Jack Dyer and Bill Morris until in 1951 he was given the chance to become Richmond's first ruckman. In 2 of the next 3 years he won Brownlow medals, with his 10-vote margin in the 1954 count a record. Roy Wright took time to develop, but when he did, it was into one of the greatest ruckmen the game had seen.
Ron Casey, our first nomination for the ruckman in our Hall of Fame side.
Selected as one of the followers in our Hall of Fame team, Graham Farmer. Graham, coming over to VFL, I think the age was 27. Did you ever have any regrets, or do you ever have any regrets at leaving it that long to come over?
No, I'd love to have come a lot earlier, but it didn't seem to work out that way. And I was very pleased that I was able to get to Victoria, because in those days it was very difficult to get a clearance.
How's that famous knee of yours, incidentally?
Well, it's, it doesn't worry me at all, and I didn't think it was very famous. It let me down at a very crucial stage.
Talking about West Australian players coming over, you really led an exodus of really star players to come over and play VFL football. Do you think it's done a great deal for the game over there in the West?
Well, I don't think it's done any harm. I think most people who play football would love to play in Victoria, and I think the experience that West Australians get coming over here, I think in the era that I played, Victorians were regarded as the fearsome footballers, and even the Rovers were considered to be 10 feet tall, and I think we were a little frightened of them. And the times have changed, and a lot of it has been because the Victorian young West Australians have come over and tried themselves out and realised that it's just as hard in Western Australia as it is here to get a kick.
Graham, one thing I must ask all ruckmen tonight, how do you think you'd go nowadays with a new line for the centre bouncers?
Well, it's tragic that they've got to change the rules to upset footballers, and I know it's made the game better, and I know that it's made mothers proud that their kids can play football, because it's taken the dirt out. But when I played, it was a real rough, tough game, and I don't disagree with today's game, because I love it, but I just doubt with a lot of these players who are getting the ball now would probably get a kick in our days because they probably wouldn't have enough guts.
Well, perhaps some of the players can ponder that. Congratulations, Graham Farmer, ruckman on Sevens Hall of Fame.
Thanks, Graham. Good on your poll.